Hello and welcome to a brand new show on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel and also via the talkSPORT podcast feed. Following on India, myself and Jarrod Kimber, we're going to be joined by a selection of top guests every week focusing on Indian cricket. India cricket is exclusively live on talkSPORT. We have the rights to all of India's home series between now and 2028. And we've got some really exciting news for you coming up in the next couple of weeks about a couple of those series. But for now, sit back and enjoy. We're going to be joined by Harsha Bhogle, the legendary broadcaster, as well as Mohammad Isam from Cricinfo, the Bangladesh correspondent, looking ahead to the Bangladesh series and also ahead to the rest of the home summer in India, all the way up to the border Gavaskar in Australia. Thanks so much for joining us here on Following on India with myself, Jon Norman, and also Jarrod Kimber. Well, I'm delighted to say that Mohammad Isam, the Bangladesh correspondent for Cricinfo and host of Crick Talk, is with us now. I mean, you must still be. I loved your tour diary, by the way, of Pakistan. I mean, what a series that was. That was screened in the UK. We were all enjoying that. I mean, has that changed expectations ahead of this two-test series with India, or are Bangladesh still travelling to India? Probably in the same way, I don't know if you agree, Jarrod, but remember a couple of years ago, we covered New Zealand's two-test tour of India, and they came away with it with a credible draw, if you forgive the cliche. Ajaz Patel took 10 wickets in an innings, but they lost 1-0. And it was kind of like, do you know what? That's kind of a success. You know, we can all kind of come away from that series feeling like everybody won, even though, of course, India just carried on relentlessly. Series win number, I don't know, 50 million. Is that where Bangladesh are going into this series, or are they going all in to win the damn thing and surprise us all?
I think they're going to approach this series very differently than how they approached the last two tours of India, that's for sure. And that's obviously because of the Test series win in Pakistan. They didn't go to Pakistan thinking that they're going to beat Pakistan 2-0. I'm pretty sure of that. But the way they approached the Test match, they found out finally that Test match has to be played like a Test match. You have to push the opposition to the fifth day, and then you're going to look for a result. That is exactly how they're going to play in India. That's what they're saying. They have the ammunition in their batting to bat out 100 overs. They have the bowling now with two of the best spinners in the world, I think. And if you combine them together, they are a deadly duo. And they have a fast bowling attack, which now gives them that extra arsenal that they always lacked. So I think they're covered in most bases. The only thing is that they have never done well in India in a Test series. Obviously, they've had a nightmare series in 2019, which I covered in Indore and Kolkata. So for the first time, I think they're going into a Test series overseas with confidence on their back that, well, if we can take it to the fifth day, India or not, we have a chance.
It's really interesting because we weren't sure where Shakib Al Hasan was emotionally, and we're never sure where Shakib Al Hasan is emotionally. Very funny story that came out of the Global T20 tournament with him just before he went to Pakistan. But now that you look at him and you've got Shakib Al Hasan, who still seemingly wants to play Test cricket and is fully interested in that, and Mahdi Hassan is just becoming the all-rounder that he's been hinting at for the last couple of years. So suddenly they have like their own version of Jadeja and Ashwin, not on the same level of bowling, but on batting, maybe even at, slightly higher, right? And then this other thing happens, which is there are seam bowlers everywhere. That the opening bowler who was brilliant in the World Cup isn't even in this squad and didn't play against Pakistan either. You've got Nahid Rana, who's bowling very, very quick. Tuskin Ahmed, Khalil Ahmed bowled really well at times as well. They've got a 5-person bowling attack that suits Indian conditions. And I was thinking, when was the last time any team turned up with like that depth and that variety? And they've got backup spinners as well. Like Tajal, if it's going to spin, they might go with 3 spinners, right? and 2 quicks. If India, like they did last time against Bangladesh, put out green wickets, Bangladesh are like, okay, well, that's what Pakistan tried to do against us. We've also won it. We've won a test match in New Zealand, and now we beat Pakistan on green wickets. Suddenly, it's one of the more balanced lineups in world cricket. After it wasn't that long ago, I remember sending you a message going, this player batting at number 7, he's playing as a specialist number 7 batter. So they've gone from having no balance in their side to having one of the more balanced lineups in world cricket.
Absolutely. And this was always on the cards if they got their act together. I mean, it has been such a long time that Shakib, being one of the best all-rounders in the world, he still couldn't balance the team because they couldn't figure out exactly how many bowlers they need. They would often go with 3 bowlers or 4 bowlers in a test match, especially in a test match. That's where their, muddled thinking came up almost all the time. I think New Zealand gave them the correct message in 2022 that they have fast bowlers who can win them matches. Mehdi Hasan Miraj and Nazmul Hossain Shanto, the captain, they kept saying one word that we needed a reference. We need a reference to win. I think it's true for any walk of life that if you have a reference to of success, you're going to repeat it. And I think now that they have a bit of balance, see, they have a number 7 in Liton Das, who is a good batter. They have Mehdi, who bats at 8, I think is too deep at number 8. I think maybe it's time that since Shakib's has an eye condition and he's not scoring runs, they might be tempted to put Mehdi in one of those innings in India. You never know, depending on the situation. That's how good he is right now, or he has been for the last couple of years with the bat. And the pace attack, I mean, it's my favorite story. I mean, it is rare to see in cricket that a type of bowling was being shoved to one side, just being told that, no, you're not good enough. And then one by one, it was Taskin Ahmed whose comeback story inspired all the other fast bowlers to see and, to revolutionize the pace attack. And then you had Ibadat, whose average came down from the 90s to the 50s in that Mount Maunganui test alone. And then, him doing well in the ODIs, and you have Hassan Mahmood, you have Tanzim Hassan Shakib, you have Nahid Rana now, and even the left-arm quick Shoriful Islam, he also adds to this attack. And the interesting thing is, now even the fast bowlers are batting slightly better, which was always a problem because they had a long tail. Hassan Mahmood lasted for 2 hours against Pakistan when everyone had given up on that innings, that when Mehdi got out 191 for 7, I think. And then he batted for 2 hours and frustrated Pakistan to no ends. Then you have Shoriful who can hit the ball. You have Taskin who can bat. So suddenly, as you rightly mentioned, that, yeah, Bangladesh has suddenly become an interesting cricket team.
Can you tell us a little bit more detail about Nahid Rana? Because, of course, for those who aren't, following Bangladesh closely, like you and Jarrod do, he may become as a little bit of a surprise. So what can we expect to see from him?
Nahid Rana is a tall fast bowler, as you've already seen. He's from the northwest of the country, the northwestern border with India. He took up cricket in late 2019, like serious cricket ball. We have a version called tape ball cricket, tape tennis. He used to play that, and his family said, no, you can't take up cricket seriously until you finish your college exam. So like equivalent to his A-level. So once he's done that, he joined the cricket academy, and his coach, the first day he saw Nahid Rana, decided that this is a special talent. We don't see a guy bowling so quick that the wicketkeeper has to let the ball go. He didn't come through the under-19 or the age group route that all cricketers in Bangladesh take. So that is another interesting thing. He took a lot of first-class wickets at a very good average in the last 3 seasons, I think. That was his main grounding, I think, bowling a lot of overs in first-class cricket, because he didn't really do well in the BPL, but he did very well in first-class cricket. They gave him a test debut earlier this year, and now, as you've seen, you'll see more of the same. If Indian pitches offer a bit of bounce, he has the ability to, rear up the ball from a good length with his height. He's got a good wrist position, and he has a bowling action that first-class batters in Bangladesh have complained about in terms of how quick the arm rolls, and it is disconcerting for them. And he's tried to keep that. His coaches, the coaches have tried to keep that old action, just extended his run-up, fixed his landing, I think, because he had a problem with the no ball early on in his life. But 4 years ago, this guy had just started taking up cricket ball practice, and now here he is. We are talking about him.
Simple question. Is he the fastest bowler in Bangladesh history already?
He is the fastest bowler in Bangladesh cricket ever. I've never heard of anyone averaging 145 and then touching 150 once or twice every match or every day. Yeah, he is the fastest ever.
And at the end of the series, despite all of that, if you were offered a 1-0 series defeat with a credible draw and maybe even a Bangladeshi bowler taking all 10 wickets in an innings, would you take that?
I don't think this team will settle for that at this moment, because I think I think the message in Pakistan was loud and clear from the captain that they want a team performance, a wholesome performance. They're not looking for individual stuff. So you had one guy getting out in the 190s, trying to play across the line. Mushfiq Rahim never does that. Just trying to pick up the run rate for the team. You had Shadman getting on in the 90s, doesn't really care. You had Zakir Hassan, a new guy in the team, going after Pakistan in the 4th innings. That really made a difference in that chase. So, and then you have the fast bowlers bowling in the heat. So I think if you're from a prediction point of view, it could be 2-0, obviously, for India. But Bangladesh wouldn't settle for anything less than a test win, their first test win in India. So, we never know. I mean, if they put their acts together, especially if their batting comes together, it might be an interesting result. I'm not going to predict anything for Bangladesh at this moment, but it is a possibility that they will not settle for anything less than a win.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.